tell us who is Meyer Burger and why is it a unique company in the solar industry? I guess we
Yeah,
can start with
great.
the founder's story. I remember
Yeah, I
that
love
one.
it. And right choice of words there, founders, because
Yeah.
Meyer and Berger, of course, is two men, Mr. Meyer and Mr. Berger. And really how they came together was about 70 years ago. For those who are fans of watches, right? You'll know that there are precious stones inside of those or precious gems inside of those. And before Mr. Meyer and Mr. Berger, the holes that were drilled inside of watches were done by hand, and then of course those stones were placed by hand. Well, they automated that process. They said, all right, let's make it an automation, but let's also focus on precision. And so they're kicked off their journey in precision tool manufacturing, right? And when you think about that, the size of a watch and how small it is and how that tiny little, often like a ruby, is placed inside of there. You got to get it right. So that's where their journey started, was in the precision tooling for the stone in watches. Then, over time, other different precision tooling comes in and out of their world, and eventually they'd start getting into the solar side of things. So we've spent the past 40 years inside of solar, and there's a lot of different stories in there, but I can talk about how most of what we've done as a company was continued on the tool manufacturing, right? The precision tool manufacturing. So making lines that other solar panel companies have purchased and made their own then solar panels on, but also a lot of the technology. So while Meyer Burger hasn't necessarily invented things like heterojunction, which at some point in this conversation we'll talk about, they are certainly the drivers behind what heterojunction is today. And they're, I would argue, they are a technology company that happens to make solar panels, not a solar panel company that happens to use great technology. And so they lead with R&D. That is the number one focus. We prioritize making sure our R&D is constantly ongoing. We're always looking at the future, challenging what the next technology is to come down the road. But